So yesterday, Elon Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name the child. He took little X.
Funny. And little Instagram.
He doesn't own Instagram.
He doesn't own Instagram. He just took little X with him to a press conference in the Oval Office to defend himself against critics who say he should not have the power to gut the federal agency.
Whoopi Goldberg just learned the hard way that some names you don't mess with, and Elon Musk is at the top of that list. After mocking Musk's young son on national television, Whoopi found herself caught in a storm of legal threats, public outrage, and possibly the most humiliating moment of her decades-long career. What started as a seemingly throwaway joke on The View has spiraled into a controversy that could permanently damage the show's reputation and Whoopi's standing in the industry. When Whoopi walked into the studio that morning, she likely had no idea she was about to ignite one of the most explosive celebrity feuds of the year. But as the cameras rolled and she delivered her jab at Musk's son's unique name, the fuse was lit on a powder keg that would soon detonate across social media and beyond. The backlash was immediate and fierce. But the real shock came when Musk himself entered the battle. Did Whoopi finally cross the line for the last time? Is this the scandal that brings her down after years of controversial statements? The consequences are still unfolding. But one thing is certain. When you take aim at the world's richest man and his family, the fallout is bound to be catastrophic. The internet erupted into flames after Whoopi Goldberg took an unexpected shot at Elon Musk's young son during a live broadcast of The View. What might have seemed like a quick quip about an unusual name quickly transformed into a full-blown crisis that left viewers stunned. During a segment discussing Musk's recent public appearance with his son, known as X, Whoopi couldn't resist commenting on the child's unconventional name. "I did not name the child," she remarked with a dismissive wave, "and I don't want to hear any more mess about our names, okay?" The studio audience laughed along, but the reaction online was anything but amused. Critics immediately pointed out the hypocrisy, Whoopi mocking a child's name when she herself chose her stage name, but the real explosion came when Elon Musk himself entered the fray. If there's one thing the tech billionaire doesn't tolerate, it's anyone targeting his family, and his response would prove swift and devastating. Elon Musk didn't just respond to Whoopi's comments. He launched a counterattack that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Within hours of the segment airing, Musk took to his platform to call out Whoopi and The View in a scathing post that immediately went viral, accumulating millions of views and responses in just minutes. "You know what? X is an adorable name," Musk wrote, "and perhaps a grown woman who named herself Whoopi should refrain from mocking a 4-year-old for the name his parents gave him." But he didn't stop there. Musk went on to describe The View as a scripted, agenda-pushing machine and accused the show of spreading unchecked lies to their audience. What made Musk's response particularly devastating was how he leveraged his massive platform to not just defend his son, but to turn the tables completely. He exposed Whoopi's own name situation, highlighting that Whoopi Goldberg is actually Karen Elaine Johnson, who chose her stage name because, as she once admitted, "Some people at the Rep called me Whoopi because I would let loose with a fart." This wasn't just a celebrity clapping back. This was Musk systematically dismantling Whoopi's credibility and revealing her hypocrisy in real time. And unlike most celebrity feuds that fizzle out after a day of trending, this one was just getting started. The internet didn't just take sides. It ignited into a firestorm of outrage that left The View's reputation in ashes. The hashtag number cancel The View exploded across social media platforms, with viewers expressing their disgust at what many considered a new low for the daytime talk show. This wasn't just another 24-hour outrage cycle. The anger had serious staying power. The View just hit a new low mocking a 4-year-old. One furious user wrote, while another predicted, "Elon might just bankrupt ABC this time." The backlash transcended political lines, with even those who typically criticize Musk rallying against what they viewed as an unprovoked attack on an innocent child. What made this controversy particularly potent was how it united people across different ideological spectrums. One viral post summed up the situation brutally. Mocking the beloved son of a litigious billionaire worth $400 billion? Whoopi just made the dumbest move of her career. The sentiment reflected a growing consensus. This wasn't just about politics or personalities, it was about basic decency toward children. For years, The View had thrived on controversy, but this time they had crossed a line that even their most loyal viewers couldn't defend. The show's social media accounts were flooded with comments demanding apologies, with some longtime fans publicly announcing they were done watching for good. Just when it seemed the situation couldn't possibly get worse, Joy Behar decided to throw gasoline on the already raging inferno. Instead of recognizing the gravity of Whoopi's misstep, Bihar doubled down in a way that left both the studio audience and viewers at home in stunned silence. During the follow-up discussion about the mounting backlash, Bihar shifted from defending Whoopi's joke to launching her own unfiltered attack. Maybe Elon should have invested in better birth control if he didn't want people talking about his kid's name, she said, delivering the line that transformed this from a controversy into an absolute catastrophe. The studio fell silent. Faces froze. Even Whoopi, no stranger to live TV disasters, couldn't hide her shock at what her co-host had just unleashed. That wasn't a joke. It was a career-imploding comment that crossed every conceivable line. In a matter of seconds, Bihar had managed to escalate the situation from mocking a child's name to making deeply inappropriate comments about the child's very existence. The network's damage control team, already working overtime to manage Whoopi's comments, now faced an entirely new level of crisis. The View's production team was thrown into absolute chaos as the controversy exploded. Inside sources revealed that ABC executives were in full panic mode, with emergency meetings being called to address what was quickly becoming an existential threat to one of their flagship programs. "It's a total disaster behind the scenes," one insider confided. "Producers are scrambling, PR teams are working around the clock, and network executives are beside themselves. Every attempt at damage control seemed to fail spectacularly, with each statement or clarification only fueling further outrage. The tension within the show's staff was reportedly at an all-time high. Some team members were allegedly pushing for immediate on-air apologies, while others worried that addressing the controversy would only give it more oxygen. Meanwhile, Whoopi and Joy found themselves at the center of a storm they had created but could no longer control. What made the situation particularly dangerous for The View wasn't just the content of the comments, but who they had targeted. This wasn't some minor celebrity who would issue a statement and move on. This was Elon Musk, a man who had demonstrated repeatedly that he doesn't just respond to criticism, he systematically dismantles his opponents. As the controversy intensified, The View faced a threat far more damaging than bad press: the potential loss of advertising revenue. Major sponsors, the lifeblood of any television program, were reportedly reassessing their relationships with the show amid fears of being associated with what had become a toxic scandal. "No brand wants to be tied to this kind of controversy," explained a media analyst tracking the situation. "When boycott campaigns start gaining traction, advertisers get nervous, and they should be." Several major companies were rumored to be considering pulling their ads, with some allegedly already reaching out to ABC to express their concerns. For The View, this represented an existential crisis. Without advertiser support, the show's financial viability would be in serious jeopardy, regardless of its viewership numbers. Even if viewers continued watching out of morbid curiosity, a significant advertiser exodus could force ABC to make dramatic changes, including potentially reconsidering the hosts' positions. The timing couldn't have been worse. In an era of declining traditional television viewership and increased competition from streaming platforms, The View was already fighting to maintain its relevance and financial standing. This controversy threatened to accelerate those challenges dramatically. Lost in the furor of the controversy was the moment that sparked it all. A rare glimpse of Elon Musk not as a tech titan or controversial billionaire, but simply as a father. The original appearance that Whoopi mocked had shown Musk in an unusually vulnerable light, standing before the world with his young son. "If you're a father, you will really understand," Musk had said during that appearance, and there's nothing more motivating than looking at the future of your children and saying, "What will I give them? Because the country that I build right now and help to protect, that's the one they're going to inherit." It was a moment that humanized Musk, showing a side of him that the public rarely sees. No spaceships, no AI debates, no Twitter feuds, just a father concerned about his child's future. That context made Whoopi and Joy's comments all the more jarring to many viewers. For Musk, this wasn't just another media spat, it was deeply personal. When he responded to The View, he wasn't just defending his public image, he was protecting his son, and that personal connection made his response all the more forceful, and the public backlash all the more intense. What made Whoopi's comments particularly vulnerable to criticism was the glaring hypocrisy they revealed. Here was Whoopi Goldberg, born Karen Elaine Johnson, mocking a child for a name she didn't choose, while Whoopi herself had selected her own unconventional stage name. Musk wasted no time highlighting this contradiction, and social media users quickly amplified it. Old interviews resurfaced where Whoopi explained the origins of her stage name, including her own admission about its scatological inspiration. The juxtaposition was devastating. A woman who chose her own unusual name based on flatulence criticizing a child for the name his parents gave him. This hypocrisy extended beyond just the name issue. Critics pointed out that The View has frequently positioned itself as a champion for kindness and against bullying, yet here were its hosts seemingly bullying a 4-year-old child on national television. The disconnect between the show's stated values and the host's actions created a credibility gap that proved difficult to bridge. For a show that had built its brand on authentic conversations and honest perspectives, this incident struck at the heart of its identity. How could viewers trust the sincerity of The View's discussions when its hosts appeared so willing to abandon their principles for a cheap laugh? As the dust continues to settle on this explosive controversy, several critical questions remain unanswered. Will Musk pursue legal action against Whoopi, Joy, or ABC? Could this incident lead to major changes in The View's hosting lineup? And perhaps most importantly, will the show's reputation ever fully recover? The legal possibilities are particularly concerning for ABC. While public figures typically have high bars for defamation claims, comments directed at a minor, especially ones implying irresponsible parenting, could potentially cross legal lines. Musk has the resources to pursue such cases indefinitely, creating a nightmare scenario for network executives. Beyond legal concerns, The View now faces a crossroads regarding its future direction. Some industry insiders suggest this could prompt a reconsideration of the show's format or hosting panel, particularly if advertiser pressure continues to mount. Others wonder if this might be the controversy that finally forces ABC to consider more substantial changes to a program that has courted controversy repeatedly over the years. What's certain is that this isn't just another fleeting scandal. The combination of targeting a child, provoking one of the world's most powerful men, and potentially alienating advertisers has created a perfect storm that The View may struggle to weather. As one media analyst put it, when you're dealing with someone like Musk, who doesn't just fight back but dismantles his opponents, you better be prepared for the consequences. The story continues to develop, with new twists emerging daily. For Whoopi Goldberg and The View, the ultimate impact remains to be seen. But one lesson has already been learned. When it comes to children, some lines should never be crossed, no matter how tempting the joke might seem.